do it quick. 'Cause, yeah.
Hey y'all, hey Luz. We are doing a quick. We coming on here so we can go ahead and
Do we
get the
do?
word out and celebrate being alive 365 days
Later.
later.
Oof, ain't that it?
Hmm. Girl, 365 days to the day that I threw that cup in the kitchen sink.
Yeah. Yep. Oh my gosh. Yep. You're absolutely right.
365 days to the day.
You are right.
Man, can't believe it.
Yeah. Actually, I can. A whole lot has happened.
Can you believe it,
A
man?
whole lot has happened.
We are, yeah,
Yeah. But that's okay. Because you know what? We're going to talk about it.
yeah, and we will. We will. Hmm. Wow. I'm tripping myself. Just I didn't think I would feel all emotional on the inside, but I really like for real do.
I mean, I think that's a valid feeling. I mean, considering how scary things got.
I feel kind of emotional. Like
Hmm.
for real, for real.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah.
So, do you want to talk about why you feel so emotional? Why you pulling a Carl Thomas on us?
Huh?
I said, why you pulling a Carl Thomas on us?
Girl. I don't know. I take that back. I am feeling emotional because, when I look back at where we were when I threw that coffee cup in the sink,
Sure.
um, versus, what you told me I went through
Yeah.
since I was um look, an operating delusional.
Oh, I'm like,
I'm like,
what is
where's that going? Look,
going on?
yeah,
What's
right.
going on?
Um,
Got ghosts in the machine.
and since we were dealing with dealing with it from that standpoint. Hi Annette, hi Beatrice, hi Kenyatta.
Hello.
But yeah, operating in the sense of,
Demetrius.
hey Demetrius, how are you? Um, I'm feeling some kind of way.
I'm gonna tell you, even though you feel, you're in an emotional place, I think that you should be in an emotional place because out of a feeling of Thanksgiving.
Yeah, but I want to cry.
Don't do
I'm
that.
not going to because I refuse to get ugly today. Um, but that's what I'm feeling. It's just like
Yeah.
I want to just, like you said, sit down in the middle of the floor and just bawl and just let it.
Let it out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, when I think about it, and when I think back on how, and I just said what I wasn't gonna do, and I think back on
Good evening, Jason.
how we, well, I'll say it like this. When I think back on how I didn't realize I was even in the world
Yeah.
but I was having full conversations with people.
Yeah.
Um,
Because I'm talking to them saying, pray for D. And they're like, oh, we just talked to her. And I'm like, how? Uh oh.
Whoa.
Did I move?
Oh yeah, it's no biggie.
Oh, I'm sitting on it.
Oh, ain't no big deal. We're just sitting up here. I just didn't. Oh yeah, y'all. This is y'all know how.
This
Do me
thing.
a favor. Tuck that over there underneath that box. Yeah. Or just you could put this up underneath the edge of the TV. Yeah, you all are seeing my shirt.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it. I, I was trying to lift it up. Yeah, yeah. Ugh.
Careful.
I I just put that up because I didn't really feel like today. I just didn't feel like putting up the big screen and didn't feel like doing. I didn't feel like doing all that.
Well,
It's
you
just
shouldn't have to.
mentally and emotionally. I was just wasn't
That
in that
headspace.
headspace.
Absolutely. And that's okay.
Um,
That's always okay. Always okay.
I wasn't in that. I wasn't in that headspace. I know. Last week I was telling you I was feeling anxious
Yes.
because I knew today was coming. And then when I started thinking about how, you know, different things were, like if we think about it in terms of timetables for, it's like last Sunday was the first Sunday that my church went virtual with no one in the building but Dr. Woodard and
Mm-hmm.
Beverly, his wife.
Yeah.
Um, then when I think about how at this point last year everybody was hunting toilet paper and how we couldn't find disinfectant.
Oh yeah.
Um,
Yeah. That was.
it's okay. I'm surprised you're on. You had a long day. I have had a very, very long day. It's just kind of, you think about, okay, everybody's trying to get tissue, find tissue. People are price gouging hand sanitizer. Bottles that would normally be 99 cents are now $4 and $5. And it's hilarious when you think back on, like I said, this time
Last year.
last year.
Mm-hmm.
Um, a lot of great things have happened. A lot of people, like in the post, said a lot of people that knew how to sew became entrepreneurs.
They did.
They became lifesavers. People started making masks left and right.
Mm-hmm.
Trying to help save a life. And in some of those instances, full blown businesses
Yeah. Have
have
emerged. Yep.
developed. Yeah, so we got that. People finally started to recognize the grocery store clerk and the gas station clerk as an essential part of day to day life.
I was never so amazed as when baby girl, she was working at the grocery store. I went to pick her up one evening, and this lady, she was in tears, and she was just like, I just want to hug you, and the baby girl got that
Yeah.
and she goes, no, it's okay, I understand. She says, but thank you for risking yourself every day that you're here to help us.
Mhm.
And like older people would come into the store, and that would freak her out. That would really just,
Do her in,
that
yeah.
really would. And so she would basically become a personal shopper because, of course, she knew the store and knew the layout of the store. She would basically become a personal shopper.
Like, what do you need? So you're not going and making contact with all these strange
Right.
people.
We're going to go this way and we're going to go that way because we're not getting ready to, you know. Or I know that my godmother, walked into the store one day. And I think at that point in time, she was really like wanting to just kind of, walk around, stretch her legs or whatever. And my daughter saw her and she shooed her back out the store. And so she had been coming to get like some essentials at the house and to get her medicine. And Kay had the people in the store to bring all that out to her car. They were doing that's when they had started doing
Mm-hmm.
the pull up or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But again, Auntie thought she was just great walk around in the store. No,
Not
no. Baby girl saw her when she walked through the door and she was like, oh no,
not you.
mm-mm,
You. I know
no.
you. I know
She
your
was like, yeah, yeah,
situation
no,
in life.
no, yeah, no,
You're
no,
not gonna be walking around
no,
looking
no,
cute.
no. You got to go, you got to
She
go.
wouldn't even let me.
I know.
She that was the cutest thing, but
No.
it was very. I was very appreciative because you know for her generation, a lot of the young people are not as what's the word I'm looking for? They're not as focused on others as she is.
Selfless.
Yes, that's the word.
Yeah.
That's the word. Because, there's like that she's a part of that what we call that entitled generation, but she is actually more of the opposite. If
And
you look at her for, like I need to go to the store, but I don't want to bother
yeah,
anybody type of
yeah.
situations. Yeah.
And I think that, I would love to take credit for that. But I think that's been a combination of just her soul, just her spirit, period. That she's always been like that. She's always been like, how can I help others, especially, the elders and those who are older.
Mm-hmm.
And how can I help? And but she used to sit with my grandmothers
Mm-hmm. So
more so than I do.
she has
Yeah.
an appreciation.
Yeah.
Yeah, and people, I think back in the day and how, at one point it was a situation where yes, thank God for his grace and mercy for us all. You're right in that. Um but when I think back on how when it first hit, how people were, oh, it's done hit the black community, it's hitting everybody but the blacks and blah da 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 da, and all this kind of foolishness.
Yeah.
And then when it finally did start running through our community, you know, people were like, oh well, it's not hitting the suburbs, it's not doing this, that, and the third. But then when it hit the suburbs, it showed this virus, if it hasn't done anything else,
So that we are all
it
human.
shows that there is no room for discrimination based on race, religion, age, sexual orientation. It doesn't matter who, what, when,
Nada.
where, how. And it has given us a greater appreciation for our loved ones.
Yes.
The things that we took for granted, like just being able to hug, you know, um, our parents or our nieces or our nephews or just
Yeah.
our friends,
Yeah.
to even be able to say, hey, come on through. Let's go ahead and just, throw some pasta or some. I got lasagna in the oven. Y'all
Yeah.
slide on through,
Yeah.
and let's just break bread. It was like it cut out just the simplest of
Yeah. Because
things.
we didn't even do that for the holidays.
Right.
We
And
were apart for the holidays. Now for the first time in
ever.
yeah,
Because
we
to
were
not be
apart.
with the elders was so totally and completely different.
It was, and it was very hard. But I will say that um when you got sick, my father got sick right around the same time, and so
Hmm.
it was a very so this time last year was very very difficult and very very rough. Hmm. Um, when he hugged Kay for Christmas for the first time in all of 2020. And y'all have to understand, my daughter's not very emotional. Like she's a very, very kind and an old
Soft
soul.
hearted.
She is. She'd probably try to take us out if she heard us talking about her like this. But when I tell you that was all she wanted for Christmas, she was just like, I just want to be able to hug my grandparents. And my dad gave her the biggest hug for Christmas.
I said I'm crying today.
Don't do that. And
I said I would.
don't do that. And she cried. Like that did something to me because I was just like, okay, that thing don't cry. She so that was, but I mean that just kind of bought because I think in a 6-day period we lost like 12 people
On your side alone.
on my side alone, like just in our in our community. Um, so in like a 6-day period we lost like 12 people, and that was devastating. And then you got sick, and there were days when I couldn't wake you up.
And you're not gonna cry either.
I'm not going.
No.
No,
Your
but
nose is getting red.
leave me alone. For those who don't know, that's like a
Yes. Oh
real
my
symbol.
goodness. The appreciation for the outdoor events got real. Yes. Yes. And yes.
Um, but yeah, so it was just because this is you and Daddy went down right around the same time.
Different situations, but
True, true, true.
we both, yeah. Now I'm gonna tell you the funny part, and I know people are going to probably take this and put it and just it'll probably go viral when I say this. The one thing that I appreciate number 45 for, and I said it to you, was Operation Warp Speed.
Oh, yeah, from the
When it
virus.
comes down to I don't know all the behind the scenes, and a lot of stuff is coming out about how they pull funds from here and there, and and all of that stuff to make it happen. But I will say, and your father put it best, anything that will let me hug my loved ones again,
Yeah,
I'm all for it.
absolutely.
And the fact that he was the one that was, act now, he may not have been the actual brainchild, but he was the sitting president.
I was about to say, I know you didn't put him and a brain in the same sentence.
And so a lot of those things that had to be signed off to make it happen,
Yes,
his signature
yes, I will say
made
that.
those things happen.
Yes,
And for that, I'm appreciative because I don't have to worry about my godparents because they had both of their shots. Yes, they still very cautious with their masks and but the bleach and cleaning and all that stuff was a part of their life before
for
COVID.
yeah,
So
for
it
all of
was
that
just
is whatever.
it was that part is just a part of normal life. But as far as the masking up, because in Mississippi, that idiot that's in the governor's office, lifted the statewide mandate. But fortunately, the cities have maintained
Good,
their mandates.
good.
Um, but they've had their shots. And when I told them that, I was scheduled, Angie was scheduled, both of them were like, yeah, and Pop, we laugh and joke and talk a bunch of crap. But I heard him all the way in the other room when Mom told him, and he was like, "Yes, I get to see my baby," and it just kind of, you know, it it makes it all make sense. And see, and I'm looking at it now. I don't take the flu vaccine, but I'm looking at this as the flu vaccine for coronavirus
Mm,
as of right now. Now,
mm,
I'm not saying that, because I don't know. Maybe one day it'll be required every year or whatever. I don't know. Don't know what the future holds. But I know for right now, I want it so I can love up on my loved one.
yeah.
To lose aunts, to lose, cousins and friends and other relatives and people that were like blood family to this virus
Mm,
has been devastating and numbing to a certain extent because it's scary for me when death becomes normal.
yes.
And so when you hear somebody else has transitioned and you're just like, oh, I hate to hear that. And it's not so much as that you don't feel for them, but you've been so inundated with that
Hmm.
until it's like, I can't take on anymore
Mm-mm.
internally.
And as an empath, I will say that this, the virus and everything that it has caused, and and all the heartache and all the, you know, but so then you have all these people who are walking around who are so heavy and who are so. If I have never been standoffish before, like virus cooties, and but
The
another,
energy of
yeah, because
everybody,
I
the
can feel,
pain.
yeah, you can feel that from across the room. And I'm like, I feel for you, but we talk about, becoming desensitized. And I don't think I'll ever be desensitized to death. However, the energy, I'm starting to not, because I can still feel it, but I'm starting to be able to just kind of push back off of it and be like, okay, well, can I
Care
feed
but
you?
not look, care but
But
not
not
be
be
consumed.
consumed. Yeah.
And that is the phrase that I have had to repeat to myself because when people I love hurt,
Yeah.
it hurts me to my soul.
Yeah.
Now, see, if something bothers me, I deal with it. I suck it up. I keep it moving. But when it affects those that I care about,
Yeah.
those that I consider family, um, then we're talking on a different level because I'm the fixer. I
Yeah.
make it right.
Yes, you do.
When my people hurt, I make it right. I make it okay for my people when, to the best of my ability,
That's right.
when they hurt. And with this, I'm not able to make it better. And I think for me, that's been the biggest piece of the puzzle. I
Mm,
have not been able to make it better,
yeah.
but I have been able to share the things that have helped me to get better.
Yes.
Those things
And that
that,
has been a blessing. I think that has been, there's some things, there's, you have to, oh, excuse me, you have to forgive me after like 4 hours of sleep. So there's certain things that we have to just kind of go through in order to grow, to know, and to be able to be a blessing to others.
mhm,
Um, Now my COVID, because well, it was COVID. We just didn't know it was COVID when I had it.
right,
Um, but I mean, I had it. I was in bed for a week and some change.
we, and it still went well.
Yeah, and it still went well.
But the fever broke, so that's why you got up
That's
and
why we got
about.
up and
Yeah.
got up and got up and got back to it. But it hit everyone differently.
Hmm.
Um,
G had the mildest case, I think.
he got on my nerves. I'm so mad at him. I'm like, all of us is in here dying. We're
I
all
think
like crawling. He's just
G
like,
had the mildest
okay,
case. I know, right?
I'm all right. I'm good.
Well, see, he went through that for him. He went through that period where he would just sweat, 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 sweat.
Mm.
Where we were getting our huge, huge beach size bath towels. And we would have a couple beside the bed because at the time, this is pre-COVID, so we didn't know what was
What's
going
going on?
on.
Right.
But it was like he would all of the so we're thinking, okay, is he having a heart attack? Is
Pneumonia.
he having, going through, yeah, pneumonia, but he wasn't having pneumonia type symptoms, but he was tired. Well, yes, he was.
Yeah.
He was tired.
From what he had before.
Yeah, and then the constant sweating. So we're in the course of the middle of the night getting I'm getting up and I'm holding him up and I'm changing those sheets out. He's got, I'm not sheets, those towels out. He's got towels on the pillows because he's sweating so much until it is truly, and this is no exaggeration, soaking through the pillows.
Mm.
He would sweat so much. And that's why I would find myself, washing the pillows
Hmm.
so much. It was just like, okay, whatever's going on, he's not sleeping on the same pillow, or changing out pillow cases and I'm sticking towels in between,
Yeah.
the pillow and the pillow case and it was just a lot. And, but here it is, you're sitting up there, you can't hardly move. Baby girl can't hardly move.
I don't
I
think she did some days.
She didn't, and we were in there making sure. It was like, "Are you okay?
You breathing?
Are you breathing? Uh,
Okay.
okay.
Drink this juice. Drink this water.
Mm,
Drink the Gatorade.
mm, yeah. So but it's just it's just been so totally different for everyone. But the blessed part, and I was talking to a young lady earlier today, she was saying that her and her husband both have actually contracted COVID twice. And he just came back
Look, you
home.
see me. Mm.
He just came back home um, from the hospital over the weekend for the second time. And she was talking about how weak he was. And I was going through and I was asking her, well, does he like beets? Do you like beets? Because she was talking about being so weak, and then I was telling her about the immune defense powder and how it has really helped me and my
Green
energy.
beans.
Yeah. Yeah, that was funny. The green beans, that was the first thing I wanted to eat. Just stick them in the oven and give them to, I mean, not the oven, but the microwave. Heat them up in the bag and just give them to me.
I was
Just
like, you want me to put some seeds? No.
no,
You want me to do?
no,
No. You want me? No.
just give me the green beans.
Okay.
Knock the cold off, and those were the best green beans I have ever had in my entire life.
Yeah.
And they tasted like green beans.
Oh, yeah. You and that coffee. I will never forget. Okay, so for those who know us, y'all know we consume coffee. We don't drink coffee. We consume coffee. We consume a lot of coffee. Um, the first indication that we had that Dee was sick was she was like, "This is nasty. This does not taste right." And so she made a whole nother pot. We drank a whole lot of coffee those 2 days because she just kept making pots of coffee. And she finally was just like, she got mad and she threw the cup of coffee in the sink.
And we
The
don't
rest,
drink cheap creamer.
no, no, no. So it was just like, ooh,
And they're talking about, oh, this coffee. This is
yeah, we're like,
amazing.
this
It's
is
so good.
so good. It's amazing. This is one of the best pots we've had. No, she hated it all. But the last cup, when she threw the cup of coffee in the sink, we were like, this ain't good. But I don't think at the time that I knew that the lack of taste or the metallic taste or lack of taste was a symptom of it, even though I had gone through that. Because remember the holidays the previous year, I was like,
And
nothing
didn't taste
tasted
it
right.
right.
I was like, oh, ew, this is nasty. And I mean, they were like my
Everything
favorite
tasted like
foods.
metal.
They were like my favorite foods and teas, and and y'all know that I drink and I blend teas, and like I couldn't, I would just drink really, really basic because it tasted awful. What I could taste, or everything tasted like metal. So then I was thinking there was something else going on. I was just like,
Because we stopped using the stainless steel cup and
yes,
started using the ceramic cup, but everything's still, well,
tasted like
maybe
metal.
it's just gotten in my mouth now. Maybe it's just, yeah, we were rationalizing a
Whole
whole
lot.
lot of stuff. Yeah.
But that was before there was the actual COVID, before we
Name,
knew
the
that there was a
name,
name
yeah.
and that there was an actual issue going on. Um, yeah. But with you, when you threw that coffee in the sink, all three of us sat up and looked at each other. We were like, oh, that's not
Yeah,
good.
they tend to, I don't know why they act funny when I tend to get a little agitated. That's just, I will never understand that. But, anywho, but yeah,
Do y'all
but
read her post when she's agitated? And we in the house with her. I'm just saying.
yeah, they get the unrated versions of
Yeah.
stuff, yeah. But as far as like the good stuff that came, like I said, we got a lot of new entrepreneurs.
Yes.
A lot of garages got cleaned out
That's
and
it.
organized. I saw a lot of happy wives and a lot of husbands that were kind of agitated because they all of those projects they've been putting out all forever
Boy, those
got
honey-do
done.
lists got done.
Yeah, those were hilarious. So many of those posts. But this has also shown how essential our educators are.
Boy.
All of those people who would ship out their children to school, for, to their babysitters.
Mm-hmm. Because that's what they was there for.
And then the ones that the schools would never hear from unless their child was not being promoted to the next grade,
Mm-hmm.
maybe about a week and a half, 2 weeks before school's out.
Mm-hmm.
Because they've ignored all the notes that were being
Mm-hmm.
sent home, or all
Yeah.
the notes that were put on the report card or the
Mm-hmm.
progress report, or all of those teacher conferences that were requested that
And
got
missed,
ignored.
ignored. Yep.
Yeah. Yeah. So, and then, I don't know why little Johnny or little Jane is not, why they're not doing so well. That teacher, this, that, and the third, and the brother,
Teacher don't know
and
how to teach and don't know how to.
yeah, need to learn how to teach to my child because my child is not like everybody else's child and blah 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 whoop de whoop.
Guess what? Your
When
child ain't like nobody else's child. You are absolutely positively right. So now you figure out how to teach your child.
yeah, homeschooling showed a lot of parents that the problem was not
Not
the
the
teacher.
teachers.
It showed them. It showed a lot of people that the problem was
Their
not the
children.
right, and their inability or their unwillingness to actually step up and make little Jane and little Johnny do right at school, make them apply themselves, make them do their homework, make them turn in their freaking homework. Okay, Deatra says that's when I know I'm really sick. When I can't drink coffee, that was me last February. I never mentioned it, but I think I had it too. I remember you
Her, yeah, I remember her being
saying,
sick.
well, she said, I remember her in one conversation, she was like, I just been drinking a whole lot of tea. She was like, I just hadn't had a taste for coffee. And I didn't say
Yeah.
anything, but I was like, okay, for Sissy not to have a taste for coffee, that means she dealing with the crud, just like the rest of us dealt with the crud.
Yeah.
And she was down for a minute.
She was.
And she's just like KNG. She never gets sick.
Mm.
And she had been up for so long, from not dealing with other situations. And then to just go down, I was like, yeah, Cletus.
Cletus.
Cletus got. Claudette got.
God.
But, and I think about how, you know, the network of people that we have been blessed to have. Like if it weren't for, because couldn't get my fever break.
Hmm.
Annette reached out to someone she knew who told her what to do for me as it related to helping to break my fever. Okay, that piece of the puzzle was awesome. Then we started, was talking to a couple of other people that we know, here locally, that was talking about different things as it relates to diet and making sure certain things were in the diet.
Hmm.
Then we had, just personal knowledge of the teas and the,
Herbs
knowing what, and then doing personal research on, okay, especially when I started to come out of it, that was when I realized just how out of it I really was. Because, I look back at my phone and I truly had full conversation and don't remember any of them.
like I said, the sisters, we were, I'm saying, y'all D is not doing well, and I'm
I
really
was doing
concerned.
work and didn't realize.
I'm like, I'm really concerned, I'm gonna need y'all to pray. And they're like, well, we just talked to her. I just talked to her. I just got off the phone with her. And I'm like, I can't get her to wake up. What do you mean you were on the phone with her? And, I would come in here and like when I tell y'all I could not get her to wake up. So first of all, you have to understand D has heaters in the room. Um, and to walk into the room and to think the heat was on because it was that hot in the room, and only to realize that the heater wasn't on. That heat was coming off of her, and then to be trying to wake her up, trying to get her,
My little burrito.
yeah, just to try to like, you in there, here, drinks this, or something.
Thank you for sharing.
And she, like, the one time you opened your eye and looked at me, I was like, well, she's in there. I'm gonna pick up. But
But
you
it's
was
so
talking to everybody
crazy.
else.
But it's so crazy because I don't, and I guess that's kind of where you can talk about, how we have functioning manic depressants and you have functioning people who are, bipolar or whatever. I guess that, or, multiple personality disorder. The personality that you were dealing with, she didn't want to wake up. But the one that, so I guess you had that professional brain and then you had that personal brain. That professional brain was doing whatever, however she was doing it. Because,
Right.
like I said, when I went back and looked at my phone, when you told me that people were saying, well, no, I talked to her and da 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 da. And I'm like, I don't remember having any conversations with anybody.
Mm-hmm.
So I've had whole conversations that I'm going back reading and I'm like, oh, 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 oh. So, when you talk about coming out and having the brain fog and now the one thing I will say that helped me was drinking that white tea, finding that white tea.
Mm-hmm.
And I think I'm gonna just go buy some bags and just start blessing people with it because a lot of people can't find white tea.
Yeah, it's not the easiest to find.
So I think I'm gonna, and that's something that I think because I was really thinking about doing that, and that'll just be something from us at this thing
Yeah.
because the white tea is so hard to find, and we hear a lot about green tea, but the white tea is even purer, even more pure than the green tea.
Sure.
Or yeah, and it tastes exactly like the green tea, but the potency of the antioxidants
Mhm.
and everything that is in it is a lot, more potent.
Hey, it's our little sister.
Hey, what is white tea good for? Okay,
Inflammation, fighting inflammation.
it helps with focus, brain fog,
Yes,
circulation.
yes.
It has some great antioxidants. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna
It
put
helps
a
to
link.
bolster your immune system.
Yes. Oh, yes. Yes, 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 yes. Yes. And what is awesome about white tea is like if you like different types of teas, and a lot of people don't realize this, but you can just take a bag of white tea and whatever other tea that you like and put them in together, or you can brew it just like, if you like your Lipton or whatever kind of tea you like, you can just throw you a couple bags or a bag of white tea in there with it, and it does not change the taste of
Whatever it is you're
whatever
drinking.
it is you're drinking. If you're drinking any other type of white tea, um,
Any other type of tea, period.
yeah, what did I say? Other type of white tea.
Hmm.
That made a whole lot of not look crazy sense. But I just pulled up a list and it is going to tell me properties. Okay, yeah. Okay, now about what is white tea good for? It says the antioxidants is similar to that of green and black tea. We just talked about that. It also contains, um,
Catechins.
yeah, that word, which is very useful in fighting chronic diseases like cancer. Tannins. While the levels of tannins are lower in white tea as compared to other varieties, it is still useful in warding off a lot of different conditions. Um, the polyphenoids, it is contribute to the bitterness and astringency of the tea, but it is lowest when compared to so it's not as bitter. It's not as bitter as green tea and black tea, which is actually quite true.
Yep. Helps in weight loss.
Yeah, the
Okay, so how bad is it? I can't see your screen. I need to realize, check y'all.
okay, the benefits. It helps in weight loss,
I just said that.
aids in the treatment of acne, and I'm gonna put this article in the stream, you all. It can be beneficial in pregnancy. It helps in the treatment of cancer, improves skin, hair and skin health, can help in the treatment of diabetes, enhances energy and alertness,
Yes.
helps reduce inflammation,
Hmm.
can be beneficial to the kidneys,
Hmm.
can it improves liver health, is good for the heart, is good for the teeth. It improves
You skip that one.
no, because somebody might need it. It improves reproductive health. It is good for hypothyroidism. Yeah, me. Can
Improve
improve
memory.
memory, which is the reason actually it's actually the reason that and energy were the two main reasons that I got it because I needed something to help with brain fog, and that ginseng just really wasn't the best tasting stuff in the world. It is good for anti-aging and it helps in digestion.
Which is why it's one of my favorites.
And this particular article, like I said, it is. Um, I'm gonna put it in the comments. How long um after drinking it did you feel the effect? Actually, Jason, it wasn't long. I actually give it a couple of days. Like
Hmm.
for me, my energy level was one of the first things that I
You noticed,
noticed
yeah.
because prior to that, it was like I did not want to get out of the bed, even if I forced myself out of the bed. It was just like long enough to go to the bathroom, or and come back, or it was long enough to run to the front to the kitchen just so I would walk 2 or 3 extra steps and then come back and get back in the bed and get back under the cover. But I was able to actually start sit, and when I say lie down in the bed, I mean lie down under the cover, wrapped up like a burrito. Um, but I started noticing I started having more energy, so I started sitting up more.
Yeah.
I was able to actually start doing things more, and I was staying awake
That
because,
part.
yeah, I was actually staying awake because I was still, my body, the fatigue was
Real.
one of the worst things that I think I experienced, the fatigue, because with all of my other health issues, I was thinking, God, will I ever have energy again? And when I started drinking it, like I said, that was one of the first things we saw.
Yeah.
And then when I started doing stuff on the computer and all of that stuff again, realizing I was doing it on the computer or on the phone or whatever the case may be, then I realized that it was like I wasn't as absent minded. Like I wouldn't be in the middle and be like, what am I working?
Those were hard. Those
What,
days were really hard
like, what,
because it was just like,
what am I actually doing? I mean, be in the middle of something. Good to know. We'll definitely be running to an herbal store. Now you can actually go on Amazon as well. The herbal stores are great, but you can also find it on Amazon. And like I said, I just get the straight white tea and just, and then we do have some white peach or whatever, different flavors, but I prefer just the straight white because I'm able to put it with whatever, whether it's just a lime and some agave or honey, or if it's just the tea itself, because it has that subtle sweetness to it.
"Ooh, some lime and some agave sound real good right about now."
Right, right, right. Uh-huh. Um, so that was one of the things that really helped. Another thing for me that I noticed helped was the were beets. Like I said, now beets are not her friend. I have loved beets since I was a child. So when I wanted beets, I got it. But be careful when you eat beets because I got the I got the I got the scare of a lifetime. I was gonna just eat one or two and ended up eating the jar of beets. And then, excuse how I say this, but I went to the bathroom and there was a red hue. So I'm thinking, because I'm on blood thinners,
Oh,
I was thinking, okay, how do I go in here and tell my husband that I
very
need to,
calmly.
yeah,
And keep
very
him calm.
calmly.
And keep him calm.
Yeah, how do I go in here and tell him that, babe, I need you to take me
To
to
the
the
emergency
emergency room?
room.
And he, of course, is going to ask why. And I'm like, well, because I'm passing a lot of blood. But then I just happened to look on the tray next to my bed and saw that jar of beads. And it was the biggest sigh of
Oh,
relief that I
yeah.
could have ever,
Yeah.
ever exhaled, because
Yeah.
it was just like traumatizing. So if you decided to, that happened to you, oh my goodness, yes. I have those forgetful moments and they aggravate me. Yes.
What's up? Michelle?
Yes, 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 yes. And it's colon cleaning the best way to get for hitting the restart button on overall health, or white tea is another option because they say your digestive system is the greatest help in fighting over infection. Now, honestly, when you start talking colon cleansing, I prefer that a person actually talk to a
Medical professional.
professional on that part, because when especially if you aren't aware of everything going on in your system, if you start doing your personal detox and body cleansing and you have other digestive issues going on that you aren't aware of,
You will
you could
send
actually,
yourself to the hospital.
yeah, you can actually do more harm than good. Like my husband, he recently had a colonoscopy done. And so those medicines, they clean you to the point that, especially, even those he had the prescription one, but even the over the counter ones will clean you to the point where you are expelling nothing but air,
Mhm.
and not knowing how much to take of that stuff, or how what you need to drink with it, or how to best use it as a true cleansing. I personally feel that that's something that you would need to talk over with, whoever your medical professional
Yeah,
is.
but even with that, it's called practicing
Right.
medicine.
And so for me, like, I do the white tea because it is all natural. And so if there is something that will, and I'm gonna be honest with you, it does help your system move. It does definitely help
Oh,
your system
yes.
move. And so over a period of time, you will realize that your system is cleaner, your urine is more clear,
Hmm.
unless you continue to put a whole bunch of other gunk on top of it. But your urine will basically all but become transparent when you use it on a consistent basis.
Hmm.
When you, well, not use it, but when you drink it on a consistent basis. Um, Michelle said, those beats will do it to you, baby."
Listen,
She's
them
like,
things is
"It was,
not your friends.
it will scare the living daylights out of
Man,
you."
that stuff. Listen.
But the good thing I will say is to actually take the time to, like, the rainbow salads, the
Uh,
salads,
love it, love it, love it, love it.
the raw vegetables. And I'm not saying just go out there and become straight vegan,
Okay.
um, because some people know how to eat meat in moderation, um, and it not really take them out. But I will say, when it comes down to, like I told my husband, he's a meat eater. He loves meat. Not it is what it is. But what I have done and what we are doing as a team now, I could eat vegetables and not have meat, no issues. But that's not necessarily the case for him,
Mm-mm.
unless there's no choice and I just don't cook any meat. And then
Then he
he,
be lip all poked up.
right,
You ain't got no
meat,
meat.
and then I have to hear about it all night. So I always make sure he has a
Him
piece of
and my
meat.
daughter.
Right.
Although she'll just be like, pick up her phone. Order
Uber
me some.
Eats, yeah.
He needs some.
I need some meat,
If
yeah,
these two is not trying to give me no meat, let me buy some food.
with some meat. And so that way, what we do now is we are using the meat as the side item instead of the vegetables
Right.
as the side items. Kiana said, "Now my stomach is nowhere near that bad. The people in my age range are discussing is hot." Oh, they're talking. Okay, yeah. With people need to, like I said, but I'm gonna tell you that I have heard some people talking about that, Kiana. But that goes back to, like, even when they dealt with weight loss back in the day, we were teasing about me aging myself because we were laughing and talking about um how back in the day people would put, not we, because I was already thin as a rail. I might need to do it now, but how people would put the preparation H on their stomachs, and then they would get the
Saran
saran
wrap.
wrap, and then they would wrap it around themselves. Then they would go out for these power walks, and all of this stuff, and
You're gonna
the
fill up.
preparation H was supposed to help eat the belly fat and help them
Burn up your
sweat it
skin.
off and all of this other stuff, girl. It was like I was like, boy, the things that we used to do back in the day. Well, not we,
Mm.
like I said, I was as big as this back in the day.
Back in the day, I wasn't big. I was still curvy, but I wasn't big.
Yeah,
But I was still curvy.
I know. I was very, very jealous. I was very, very jealous because she's always had a figure eight. I was a, if I had a boyfriend, he would be the zero and I would be the one. It is what it is. So if all of us were hanging out, we were the number 108.
108.
Hi, dear. How are. Okay,
Mm,
Ali Khan said, will
mm-mm,
you marry me?
mm-mm.
Nope, she's not marrying anybody. Thank you for asking, though.
No,
Look, look. I don't even know him, but nope,
no, no, no,
she's
no,
not marrying
no,
anybody. Nope,
mm-mm,
mm-mm,
no.
nope. I don't even know him. So first time I ever saw his name, but she's like, just smile, please. Like, okay, is this a stalker?
Potentially, I don't know.
Are you familiar with this name?
No,
Oh, okay. Well,
new viewer. Hi.
yeah, we like having fun, so
Yeah.
so don't take us, too seriously unless you really are a stalker. And then I need to get put out the disclaimer: this family's crazy. So, and so is our network, which runs really, really deep. So, just the FYI, just in case you are a crazy person, But we have some of the strangest. We're talking about a serious topic here. She said potentially I need two wives like you, like as you baby. When I tell you what, if my husband says okay, and then my second husband, that means we need to call the second
Oh
husband.
no.
Cause see, the first husband's gonna be like, hell
Hell no.
no. And then but if we call the second husband, and he'll probably be like, let me have him checked out. And then, we'll see. Hi Angela. Look, trust me, you do not want two wives like me and her, not in the same house. Trust me.
Like
Ask
her
my
husband. Yeah, I was
husband.
about to say her husband would be like, no.
No, you just that
No.
look, and then
And then there's another one down the hall, so no.
mm-mm. And so but it's so good to see you, Angela. I'm looking forward to chiming in on your show tomorrow. I
What's she
want to
talking
play
about?
with you in the bedroom. I will get. Look, you know
Oh
what? I'm
no, no,
gonna
no,
tell you, like,
no,
all I'm gonna say is this, and we're going to end this because I see he wants to take it to some crazy
no. Yeah, we not
places.
gonna go
We're
there.
not about to take it there. But trust me when I say this ain't what you want.
Bye bye.
He's been officially blocked.
Bye bye.
Yeah, he was trying to come hard. Um, what is your moderation on eating meat? Um, and me too about mind your kings, please. Right, baby. They don't. They don't. They. Some people just don't know and understand. We laugh, we joke, we cut up, but we are not always. We're not stable in all our ways, and that's just the easiest way to put it. But moderation on eating meat for Key, we don't really do a lot of beef at all because her system does not process beef very well. So we don't eat a lot of beef, which we already know takes forever to get through even the healthiest of bodies. It takes it a while to make it through, but every now and then, I'm not going to front, I need my T-bone. And so when I get my T-bone, I tend to smash it, but then I don't eat beef for an extended period. We tend to do more chicken, turkey, chicken and
Seafood.
turkey and seafood.
Yeah.
Um,
Even though technically, which I find absolutely amazing, they're just like, you're not supposed to be able to eat seafood. And I'm like, that's all
was
I eat.
right. That tolerate your system can tolerate very
Hmm.
well. Now with pork, we do, eat some pork, but it's very, very rare. And um, and what I do is I will actually put it in an ACV, apple cider vinegar and baking soda, soak, and just let it soak for a while. It does not come out tasting like ACV. But what it does is it breaks down the lipids and the non-healthy crap that's in pork. That causes the high blood pressure, and because and I guess a lot of the stuff that I know and I realize is because I grew up in Mississippi. I used to go to, and I would be there when they would slaughter the hogs, the cows, the ringing necks, chicken necks, and all of that stuff, on the farm. So I would see them when they would salt all of these, salt them down and put them in the smokehouse and then let them cure for however long that they would cure. But then when they would take them out, they would always soak it in vinegar,
Mm.
just regular vinegar. And it not only would get rid of, after they washed a lot of that salt off, but it would also get rid of a lot of that salt, but it would also do what I was saying. Because even if you think about it, a lot of our elders, they didn't really get when those that ate and still eat from the farm don't really get sick, and it doesn't matter what they eat. It's a lot of the stuff that comes through the grocery stores and
Hmm.
through these manufacturing plants,
Hmm.
these preservatives and all of that stuff that are placed in the meats that actually what make us sick. It's
Hmm.
not the actual meat itself.
But I will say that when we start talking about, our the processed foods and the things that cause us to be sick. So D will go to a meat market, and the meats that she gets at the meat market, my body tolerates a lot better because my body just does not meat. You start introducing meat, and my body's just like, no. Um, but so the food that comes
Because it's fresh. They cut.
from the meat market. But
Yeah.
I will say that I noticed that even when any of us were sick, when we would switch it up and we'd start eating the rainbow salads and we'd start eating the fish and we start eating the more
Yeah, the more lean,
naturals,
yeah,
then we were able to recover
a
quicker.
lot quicker, yeah.
So that is, when they talk about, your gut and, your, being really the fountain of wellness or illness,
Mm.
in the body, that proves itself time and time again. And
Crap that
then,
immune defense.
yeah,
Mm.
then when you talk about when we were talking about the white tea,
Mm-hmm.
because it aids in digestion,
Mm-hmm.
but it also helps to boost that immunity because it keeps all that stuff,
Facts.
yeah, keeps all the stuff broken down and moving. Hold on for a second.
Yeah, we're gonna show you the stuff that I was talking about, that I usually, and it tastes just like when you add it to water, it just tastes like weak Kool-Aid. The Kool-Aid packages without the sugar or what
Where's the
have
light?
you. Yeah, that one. Uh, the That's what it tastes like. But I tend to add um cranberry juice because I just like cranberry juice. And immune defense. I'm trying to fix it where, but see, no, the lighting.
Oh.
Oh, I know. I'm gonna just drop it down a little bit. There we go. The immune defense.
There it is.
Yeah. And I actually get this in the pharmacy at Walmart, and it has
Zinc
zinc. Yeah.
in the immune mushrooms, echinacea, probiotics, black elderberry.
Yeah. and it is gluten free,
And vegan.
vegan, yes, no GMOs. But yeah, no, I was gonna read.
Okay.
But what it does, it also is like complete immune support, supports hydration, promotes gut immunity, and it has the alkaline and greens, and it actually goes through and it breaks down everything that's in there, So for those that like the kale, parsley, broccoli, all of that kind of spinach, celery, all of that stuff that we need that we don't necessarily like the power greens.
Hmm.
It has the power green. It has all of that stuff in there. So I just sometimes I will one of these days I'll actually get up and make a smoothie with it, but I just add it to some cranberry juice and shake it up, baby, and keep it moving. Yeah, and but what I'm gonna do is, Sissy, thank you for the last 365 days of the year.
Thank you for being here for those 365 days of the
Thank
year.
him for that, cause
Woo!
baby, yeah. For those that don't know, today was day one where we realized that I was sick
Yeah.
because that was when
It's
today.
the day when you threw the coffee cup in the sink.
Yep, because the coffee did not taste right.
And hadn't been for a couple of days at that point.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
this is when we actually realized it. And it was downhill, but then we came back up the hill.
We sure did. It was a
So
fight.
so come tell the people bye.
Bye, y'all.
And we have an amazing guest next week. Chaka.
Yes, Miss Pryor.
Yes, she is going to come to us, and we're actually going to have an in-depth conversation about hypothyroidism, Graves' disease.
Yeah.
We're gonna, it has been a minute since we have hit that topic, but it is one that is necessary
Hmm.
for us to revisit, and the educational piece that's going to come as a result of that is going to be phenomenal.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. So next week we're talking Graves' disease. We're talking pushing through, because to look at her,
You would not know,
you would
honey.
not know that there are days. Her hair, she doesn't have any because it hurts. It hurts her
Yeah.
just to have hair on her head.
And I'm gonna say, you know, I didn't realize that that was a part of the thyroid condition.
Hmm. Yeah. So it's gonna be real deep and in depth. So hello Angel, how are you? Your daughter's on.
Hey, baby girl.
Now look, get on there so and speak to her right so she can see her mama.
Hey, Angel.
She's talking some, hey baby girl. It's
Yeah.
like y'all have to excuse my text. The kids talking while I'm trying to listen, telling them they got me on here looking silly. Love you too. Stay lovely. Peace and blessing. Yes, next week is going to be phenomenal. And look, you never look silly, Kiana, and I'm so glad that you all got electricity back on last night. Here, the storm knocked out
Oh.
electricity in different pockets of the city, so
Hmm.
I was happy, happy, happy to see that
She got it back.
everybody got it back. Yeah,
Oh, everybody's back on?
yeah. To
That's
my
good.
knowledge, everybody's back on. But anyway, we love you guys. We thank you for tuning in. Like and share. Pass the word about the white tea, because you might not need it, but somebody else just might. Love
Definitely.
you, and we'll see you all next week on this thing called life.
Life.
Take care, everybody. Love you too, Beatrice. Yes.